online, follow the link and you can watch it.
Wow, look at your graphic.
Ready to rock, buddy.
And you're live, Dan.
Okay, you're good. Go, Mr. Park.
Parents, good afternoon. Welcome to the Fireside Chat this week. I want to fill you in with a lot of good information. I don't want to waste your time, so let's move through the slides and try to answer as many of your questions as we possibly can. First, there are no live questions or interaction from viewers. I'll answer questions that were previously submitted, and the event will be recorded and placed on our webpage, and I will solicit feedback in a follow-up email. So let's get forward today. Parents and guardians, first I want to thank you for your patience with online learning. I want to thank you for being connected and interested. I want to thank you for working online with your children, and I want to thank you for the feedback you have been providing myself and the other administrators. Here's the first question of the day. Are parents or guardians able to access Apex to confirm if students are submitting their assignments? As you can see, the answer is no. You cannot access Apex, but you can email the Apex teachers, your counselors, and Mrs. Gallus, an administrator. Well, how do I get those email addresses? I'm glad you asked. There's a list of all of the Apex ESS teachers and their email addresses. You'll have access to that list right there in this PowerPoint. So make yourself use those email addresses and reach out to your Apex or ESS teachers for information about how your student is doing. Any updates on a possible graduation ceremony? I can tell you that the district is feverishly working on a plan currently. We'll have more information in the very near future. Graduation is still about a month away, and it most likely will not be a live ceremony, but possibly. I just can't give too many details at this time, but more information will follow. But there will be some form of a graduation ceremony in all likelihood. A direct quote from the question. I wrote that question directly. It's rather long, but with the governor's recent announcement about starting school early this summer, is Modesto City School District ready for this, or can you provide an update on your thoughts about this? First of all, I would say the governor's message the other day was not an official statement. He was just talking out loud. I think putting things out there to get feedback. I will say this, that if you go back to mid-March, Modesto City Schools was strictly a brick and mortar building. We had no online learning, or very, very minimal, and we adapted. Since the middle of March, we have gone totally online. So if the governor should say, if the governor should say that online learning will continue, or there will be some form of it moving forward, Modesto City Schools will be ready. Based on our past track record of the past 7 or 8 weeks, we will be ready. Whatever the governor and the state of California decide, we will adapt. The next question is, my daughter's being told by her teachers that they are not assigning work, and she wants to improve her grade in AP Euro. Strongly suggest, first of all, that you reach out to the teacher using their school email address, not a Schoology email address, but their school email address, like mine is park.da@monet.k12. That's the address you want to use, so reach out to them. I will tell you that teachers are not required to allow grade improvement. It is not a requirement. It is highly suggested by the district. I would be surprised, though, if there are Beyer teachers that are refusing to allow students to raise their grades. And that's where I would reach out to them and really see what they're saying about that. But again, reach out to your student's teacher. Is it true that students can only earn participation points if they are doing new learning? So let me lay that foundation out there for you. New learning is related to the fourth quarter. Anything the students do in the fourth quarter is new learning. And this is what the board said at the April 15th meeting. They approved this policy. No third quarter grades will equal the semester grade. So whatever grade your student ends up with in the third quarter, when it's all said and done, that will be their fourth quarter and their semester grade. The board also said we do not want any student's grade harmed, any third quarter grade harmed. So in other words, if your student has an A currently, their grade cannot go backwards. If they have an A in the third quarter, they will have an A in the fourth quarter, and that will be their semester grade. Grades cannot go backwards. They do not want any students' grades harmed. Again, teachers are strongly encouraged to allow grade improvement in the third quarter. Strongly encouraged to allow that. And a lot of times teachers are directing students back to assignments and tests and projects that they did in the third quarter and didn't do well on. They're encouraging them to go back and improve those grades, resubmit them, and for a grade improvement. That's the way many teachers are doing it. The equity issue is a parent's concerned, you're not grading homework in the fourth quarter, and how are students knowing, what they're really getting in terms of a grade, and how is that really fair, etc. It really boils down to an equity issue. There are students all across Modesto City who simply do not have access to Schoology. They do not have access to a real good environment in their homes to actually be doing work. So the board felt that in order to make sure that it was equal and equitable across the board, that fourth quarter work would strictly be enrichment, new learning, an opportunity for students to continue to learn their subject matter, but not be graded for it, because they did not want to, again, be unfair to the students that just simply don't have access. This parent said, my daughter's physics teacher is only allowing the student to redo homework assignments that have already been graded. How does she raise her grade? Well, my question to you is, did your student get A's on all of the homework assignments in the third quarter? Now, if she did, I'm curious as to what the student's grade is, if she got all A's in the third quarter on her homework assignments. If she got some assignments, received some assignments with lower grades, an A, C's and B's and D's or lower, then it sounds like the teacher's encouraging her to redo those, resubmit them, and receive a higher grade. That's my thinking. I always encourage you to reach out and check with the teacher, though, and get clarity from the teacher using school email. And I keep saying not Schoology email, but school email. And that's with park.da@monet. The @monet email address is the one you want to be using. So check with your teacher, and there is a way to raise that grade, it sounds like. Where do we obtain the access code for Schoology? You want to check and see how your student's doing. You want to know what's going on. There's a couple of ways you can get access codes for Schoology. There's a couple of email addresses right there. There are office personnel that have access to get that information for you. As well, you can email any counselor or any administrator, and they will get that work, access code for you and give it to you. It's not that difficult to get. Just contact one of those people on the screen there, and they'll help you out. How do you reach your counselors? Well, all the information is right there. It'll be available on this presentation. This is being recorded. It'll go online so you can look at it again. But there is a list of the alpha on the far left-hand side, and there's the counselors' names, and then there are their email addresses on the right. So just to reach out to your counselor if you need to ask them anything, you're unclear about something, do not hesitate to reach out to your counselors. Please utilize them during this time. Senior survey. Now, I can't stress to you, senior parents that are listening, I can't stress enough how important this survey is. This survey is how transcripts are triggered to be sent to your students' colleges. So it is vitally important that they complete this senior survey. And there's the information for completing it on your screen. There's the counselor's name that's overseeing it, and there's the link that you would follow to complete the survey. And again, senior parents, it's very important that they complete this survey for a number of reasons. Graduation robes. We've Going to have a pickup at the school mid-May. I think it's going to be the 15th of May. It is the 15th of May. We'll give you some more instructions soon about the exact times and pickup procedures, but May 15th, Jostens will be at our school with the graduation robes. So mark that on your calendars. My concern is that the district has given up on student learning. My concern, the parent said, one parent said, my concern is that the district has given up on student learning. Let me just say, absolutely not. Learning is available on Schoology. And again, we're not grading it because of the equity situation, but it is available. Teachers are available. Students can improve third quarter grades. We're still having extended summer school and have enrolled numbers of students into extended summer school trying to make up previously failed classes. And again, third quarter grades have, you can improve third quarter grades by making up and redoing some of the previous work. So again, I just remind you that in mid-March, we were strictly a brick and mortar building, and now we have converted, and I think the teachers have done an outstanding job of converting from brick and mortar and students walking into their classrooms to now doing it all online. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But it's very well done, and the teachers have done a great job so far. So no, we've not given up on learning, and please be patient with us and work with us. Work with your students to check into Schoology and see what work is available and get that work done. Haven't yet ordered your graduation robe? No problem, but you need to act soon. I mentioned the 15th, Jostens would be here. Now, how do I get my robe ordered, Mr. Park? How do I do that? Right there. Online, you'll see a couple of ways you can get those robes ordered. A phone number and a web link, a web page. So if you haven't placed your order for robes yet, get them done. May 15th, they'll be here delivering them. Are they going to document the coronavirus in the yearbook to show what the students went through this year, and especially what the seniors lost out on this year? This is a direct quote from the yearbook advisor. We have quite a bit of coverage about COVID-19. Some we, the school, have created, and some that Jostens has provided. So yes, there will be, it'll be noted in the yearbook about the coronavirus situation. How will the money be spent that seniors fundraise? So in case you're unsure of what that question's about, students that were going on senior trips or other senior activities, often they provide a means for them to raise funds, sell candy, sell cookie dough, those types of things. When the trips were all canceled, any funds that parents paid out of their personal pockets, a check out of their own personal funds, those funds have been reimbursed. They belong to the parents. When money is fundraised by students as part of an associated student body activity, in theory and in law, and not just school board policy, but state law and federal law, the funds become a part of the associated student body club or organization for which the funds were raised. So let's say Dan Park was going to Disneyland. I raised $100 through selling C's candy, just as an example. When it was canceled, the $100 that I raised in C's money to go to Disneyland will remain in the associated student body accounts. If my parents had paid $100 on top of that out of their personal account, that money is reimbursed. How is that money spent that's left there? The student fundraised $100 and it's now still in the ASB accounts. The ASB, Associated Student Body Officers, make decisions about ASB funds. So how those funds end up being spent next year will be determined by students who have been elected by their peers to make decisions on their behalf. And those funds, the decisions about how those funds will be handled or spent, will be determined by the ASB officers next year, not school administration or teachers. I cannot tell them how to spend their money. That is strictly up to them. So that's what's happening with the seniors who fundraised money and the funds were left in the ASB account. Can you still submit a college or senior ad to the yearbook? Excellent question. This is a direct quote again from the yearbook advisor. For today only, we will accept the professional portraits students have from outside photographers, but we will be submitting our yearbook tomorrow. That's Friday. So we still need selfies from sophomores and juniors as well. So there it is. There's the quote. So it sounds like you've got through the end of the day to get that done. So there you go. Where do I submit that information? The senior collage and all that stuff you were just asking about. And there it is right there. So if you want to know where to send that stuff, send it to that email address right there, please. Next question, why isn't Beyer doing some kind of senior spotlight? Good question. Senior spotlight will be accepting the information for the spotlights beginning tomorrow, May 1st. Students will complete a Google form on Schoology, and that will end up on our social media accounts. Senior spotlights will be advertised on Beyer social media. So check our Instagram, our Facebook, Schoology webpage, check it all. But we are doing senior spotlights. They're starting tomorrow. It'll probably be early part of next week before they start showing up, but it has started and commenced. I'll be sending a survey out soon. Please provide feedback. The recorded copy of this presentation will be on the Beyer webpage. I want to answer any questions you have. I think I answered all the questions that were provided today. It is our goal and desire to keep you informed and to answer any questions you have. And I just want to say thank you very much for tuning in today. Have a great day, and we'll be doing this again in about 2 weeks. Thank you.